have 30 minutes, which, as you know, is certainly not long enough to get into the software and the depth of the software and what it can do. So these are the highlights that I would like to go over for you. Everybody has different decision-making criteria for what you're looking for in a piece of software, so we're going to look at some of these at a very high level to see where we fit in. And obviously we're here for the rest of the day. Happy to show you the software if you'd like to see it. Happy to review any points of it that you'd like to see. So in terms of functionality, I listed the highlights. I mean, the depth and breadth of the solution is quite extensive. There's lots of things not on here, but we certainly do the basics. We do course registration, we do location bookings, facility bookings, whatever you want to call it. We have event management with the whole workflow process, campground bookings, golf, online golf as well, obviously point of sale, inventory, full inventory module, including consumable tracking as well as just your regular stock tracking. We even track consignment items. If you have that in an art gallery or museum, we can track those as well. Memberships, things like memberships, perpetual memberships, integration to just about any piece of hardware. We're a Microsoft shop, so if Microsoft has a driver for it, we support it. Restaurant and table bookings to the point where you can specify a table of 4 seats, which seat you would like to sit at that table. In case there are tables that have individuals that you don't wish to sit beside, you can manage that. Assigned seating ticketing is coming out, as well as childcare. Our system is one module, one system with everything in it, everything shared with the same booking engine underneath. So when we built out golf, for example, it's just a different view of a booking. So our typical facility booking that most people are used to, certainly from the class side of things, is you have a 15-minute, you have a little grid, and every 15 minutes you book something. Golf is a booking as well, just in a 6 or 7 minute increment, right? Campgrounds are bookings as well. It's just in a 24-hour view. So it's just a different view. So we call those workbenches. And it all uses the same software, the same interface. We have one screen, and everything is in that one screen. Let's talk accounting. Near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. Cost accounting was it's okay. Chart of accounts, we can take as many GL accounts as you have. You can organize the accounting exactly like the city chart of accounts. So we can import the entire chart of accounts that you currently have for Parks and Rec. You don't have to recreate anything. We can import it directly. We export by a stored procedure, CSV file, whatever it is that you like. We also have web services. So if you wish to use those web services to talk more closely with your accounting system, we support that as well. Full accrual accounting, not modified accrual, full accrual. So what that means is your session or punch passes, right, are actually accrued when you come in, check in, sign in, do your session. That revenue is then recognized for that session. Okay. Full audit trail, so tentative bookings, every kind of booking, everything you do in the system is recorded. Okay, it's not that some things are recorded and some aren't. Everything you do is recorded. I can go in, I can search by user, I can search by event, and I can get an audit of everything that's happened within a specific time frame. You have a variety of filters. If you need to go in and check, you're not sure what's going on in certain circumstances, you can go in and check. We have invoices. Everything generates an invoice. Every sale generates an invoice. You can add to invoices. You can keep invoices open. What that means is if you have a restaurant at an arena or something like that, you can run a tab. Keep the invoice open, add to your invoice, close out the invoice, and take the final payment at the end of the day. We also have statements, obviously, because we have, at the end of the month, maybe you want to do a statement. It's a real statement. It's not an invoice. Invoice is what you owe, what you've paid, what you owe, and then a statement is the overall high-level transactions of what's occurred that month. We also use vouchers, which I quite like. Instead of doing the whole credit on account thing, somebody's unhappy, so you give them a credit on their account. One of the challenges with that is that you can't specify where that credit on account is to be used. Whereas if you give them a voucher, you're unhappy with your swim lesson, here's a $40 voucher to use towards swim lessons. You can track, again, there's an interface that allows you to track how many of those you've given out, who's used them, where they're at, all that sort of stuff, right? So a lot of really strong accounting. Technology, we are SQL Server. We have some other versions of SQL Server that we support, but these are the two most common ones. In other words, we are client-server technology. We specifically went that route when building the software because of hardware. One of the challenges with web-based applications can be working with hardware, working with gate kicker devices, working with other pieces of hardware, lighting integration software, all those sorts of things. So if you want to run the software in the cloud, you can certainly do that. You can pick the cloud provider of your choice, you can put your server up there, and you can access it remotely. Or you can have it on-premise. So there's lots of discussion points around your data. Who has your data, who has access to your data, who's sharing your data. If you are in a hosted situation, can you get access to your data when you want? If you decide 5 years from now that you want to move, will you be able to get your data and take it with you if you decide to move? Those are all questions that you can answer depending on the solution, or you can put it in your own private cloud or have it on-premise. A lot of people want to go hosted to deal with PCI, right, and to eradicate PCI compliance issues, and we'll talk to that in just a few minutes. Customer reporting, we have a dashboard. It doesn't come pre-built because we found that our customers don't have pre-built needs. Everybody has their own unique KPIs. You tell us what your KPIs are, and we build the dashboard for you. We have over 500 standard reports. We use SQL reporting tools, and we use Crystal reports. Not to generate, we use stored procedures because Crystal's slow. Crystal helps make it look pretty, right? But it ain't good for on the back end and actually getting the data. So we use stored procedures to get the data, and we use SQL to make it look pretty. Crystal, sorry. SQL doesn't make it look pretty. Oh, and all the reports that you generate, and if you have any custom reports, they're all stored in the database, which means you do not have to upgrade them every time the database is upgraded. Create it once, store it, and you're done. You okay? You're all choked up. It's a very emotional time. Our entire web portal is built using web services. All of these web services are exposed and can be used to tie in and talk to any other application. We support bi-directional flow of information. In other words, you can take something like a 311 system, any other system that you want, and we will accept input from those systems. We are not restricted or closed. We're very open. If the web service that you need isn't there, we'll create it for you. But all of our web portal, so that means bookings, that means client account creation, my account history, course registration, memberships. The web portal does instructor. There's an instructor section. As an instructor, I can go on, get my class list, download my schedule to my smartphone. All of that is built using web services. All of those are exposed, and they're available to be used for anything else that's required. Our portal comes with a look and feel that we've created because we thought it looked nice, but it's completely customizable. You want to white label it, you want to integrate it completely with your city or county site. You want to make sure that it looks fully and completely like you've never left the city site, and you can do that using these templates. It's kind of like Word, right? You have a newsletter template or a memo template or a letter template in Word, and we have the same thing. So you have a main page template, you have a sub-page template, and you can not just change the colors and use the logos that are appropriate, but you can change the entire look and feel of it so that it looks and is fully integrated with the city site, and nobody can even tell that they've left. So payment processing, PCI compliance. This is the kicker, right? This is the bane of everybody's existence. So there's basically, we handle things differently from, let's say, what you're used to. So the first thing is we code to the merchant. So we don't have our own API, we code to the merchant's API. So if you're using Moneris, we code to Moneris. So people say, well, do you support this and this? And it's not what we support. We code to Moneris, so it's what Moneris supports. Does Moneris support tokenization? Yes. Well, then of course we do, because we support what Moneris does. Does Moneris have online debit? Then we support online debit, right? So we code to the merchant. So depending on what your needs are, whatever your merchant supports, we do by default, okay? You can choose to reduce the PCI scope entirely within the application, if you wish, and basically not take any credit card information in the software. Or you can use what we call our payment vault, and you can store credit card information. So the situation is different from what you're used to. So I'm assuming most people in here are class, is that fair to say? Yeah? Not?
Yeah.
Okay. Class takes credit card information, passes it to payment server, then it goes to the merchant, right? In our solution right now, you don't take the credit card information in IntelliLedger. There's a frame at the bottom of the window. You're already in the payment vault. So that's one less transfer of information. But you're still in a payment vault. You still have the credit card information on your city servers. Most people don't want to do that at all, right? Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of the liability altogether. What you can do is go to, like Moneris, TD, all those guys, they have their hosted window. So in our system, you're in the, I'm ready to pay, I bought a whole bunch of stuff, go pay. What pops up is the Moneris window. So the credit card information goes directly into Moneris or TD or whomever. I'm just picking on Moneris because they were the first ones we did. It goes right into their window. The credit card information never enters the vault. It never enters any part of the city's servers and goes directly to Moneris. The only information that gets passed back and forth is yes, it worked, or no, it failed. That's it. All right? For point of sale, you want to use an integrated PIN pad. You get those from your provider, from your bank, right? Moneris, TD, whomever, Chase. Swipe the card. The system, our system will pass the information, which is the amount, right? So that's not, you know, essential. $45 goes to that. Put in your credit card information. That's all with Moneris. The only thing that we take back is yes, it passed, no, it failed. That's it. Everything else is done with Moneris. They take the liability. They take all the risk. We don't have anything. For recurring payments, obviously you need a token. You need some sort of reference to that credit card. Again, Moneris stores the credit card information. They pass us the token. We store that reference, right, in the system to say, every month charge them $100. And that's all that we store. So that means that there's no PCI from that perspective. It reduces your liability and your overall implications quite significantly. So that's obviously the recommended configuration. One of the nice things about, I digress for a minute. How am I doing for time? 18 minutes. Oh, Stan talks so fast. All right. One of the things we have the a module that's quite different to this market. It's quite common in Australia and New Zealand, which is where our company comes from. But it's called Set and Forget Notifications. And what that means is you set it up when you install the software. You set up these notifications and alerts, and then you never have to touch them again. You forget them, right? Set and forget. One of the things we do is we generally recommend that people set up a notification, assuming they have recurring payments, which a lot of people do, whether for child care membership or what have you, whereby the system will, if one of those recurring payments did not go through, so we received notification from Moneris that the payment failed. Maybe your credit card had expired, maybe you're over your limit, whatever the case may be. All we know is the payment failed. You can set up the software so that without any staff intervention whatsoever, the system will put an alert on the customer's account to indicate that there's a payment owing. The system can text them to indicate there's a payment owing. The system can email them to indicate that there's a payment owing and recommend that they come in or go online and make their payment. Once they have done that, the alert will automatically come off of their account. So I haven't done anything. As a staff member, I've done nothing. Set and forget. You set it up, and then you forget about it and just let it run in the background. So there's all sorts of notifications that you can do like this that is based on the entire database. So any trigger, any event that happens in the database, you can create one of these notifications. They could be text notifications, could be an email, and then you're going to have your promotional things, like we have new spin classes, we have new what have you, and then those can go out. But I wanted to mention it around the payment processing because I think it's very slick. You don't have to have a lot of staff intervention to try to recoup those monies that are sitting out there. So a little bit about our company. Our head office is technically New Zealand. Product management is in the UK. In other words, we're global. We are new to North America, which is why a lot of people haven't heard about us, which is where I come in, and Kelly just joined us recently, and we're spreading the word. Right? We're out there spreading the good word. First customer was signed in 2002. The software, as I said, it was designed around client-server architecture. Our growth rate, I was going to do a list, but it's in excess of over 70% per year. 25% of our revenues are reinvested in R&D, and this is why we're able to put out modules and create the software that we've been able to create so rapidly compared to certainly what most of us have been used to. We have staff all over the place. We have staff in Australia. We've just recently hired a woman named Judy Tussell in Atlanta. She came from Oracle and was a manager of their consulting group. So she's helping us to streamline our consulting process, our implementation process, build out our consulting team, and just ensure that as we move forward, we're doing things in the manner that you would be expecting, certainly. Because our team is so varied in terms of our office locations, it allows us to provide 24/7 support. Again, with the client-server model, we have maintenance, and we do, as part of the maintenance, we do the upgrades for you. So we do upgrades to your trainer database. You then sign off on it. There's a process for testing and sign off, and then we would go in and update your production. Obviously, you're welcome to be there and watch, but we can do this in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, so it doesn't impact anybody, and just go ahead and update it. The software, for those that are a little bit more on the technical side, it's one executable. There's one EXE, it's one screen. If I have the role and the permissions, I can see everything. I can see accommodations, restaurants, courses, bookings, memberships, I can see everything. If my role does not permit me, I might only have 2 things on my screen. So it's all role-based. It's all, even the reports, right, is completely role-based. What reports and how many reports I see depend on my permissions. But it's one executable. There is a second executable that's for check-in, so that it runs in the background. You can use fingerprint scanning. We don't integrate to a third party like M2Sys. We built it right into the application. It's much faster. Our own testing has shown that fingerprint scanning, and it's not the fingerprint. Everybody knows that, right? It's points on your finger. Nobody's storing your fingerprint, comparing it to, secret government agency or anything, right? It's points on your finger. We take 3 different fingers just in case you broke one or, you had a burn or something like that, right? Take 3 fingers, store it, and then you can use those to access. Much faster than barcode has been what our testing has shown. So, and they're cheap. We don't sell hardware. We're not in the hardware business. The only hardware we will sell is the hardware that we have to, because we have to code to it, like the fingerprint scanners, which are $350. So there is minimal hardware that you will purchase from us. We are, again, a Microsoft shop. So whatever Microsoft supports, we will support. You can get a driver from Microsoft for it, then it'll work with software. 24/7 support. We have support people. Kelly and I provide support. People in the UK office provide support. Australia, New Zealand, it's all over the world. So great coverage from that perspective. And I think that's all I wanted to say at a high level. Do I have any questions? Yes?
IVR?
We do not support IVR.
Okay.
No. Or Oracle. Off the bat, yes.
Migration from an existing class application into your application?
So we've had a number of people that have moved from class. One chose to take their data and regretted. So it's probably best to talk to them directly about it. I think there's a couple of factors. I would suggest some data might come over depending on the size of your organization. Things like memberships might be useful. If you have ongoing memberships, you're halfway through, it might be useful to take some of the membership data over. Some people want to take their pictures, some people don't. Again, that's up to you. We can certainly take your entire class database and bring it over. Wouldn't recommend it. We can do it. Most people, it's a great opportunity to clean up. Most people in this room that have been on class for quite some time. I dare to say there's a whole bunch of crap in there. Everybody has activities with ZZZ, because before you have the ability to deactivate, right, everything's ZZZ, so it's at the bottom. Everybody's, do you really want to bring that up? So we can put in parameters. We can put in parameters and say, only bring courses where there were registrants. You know, we can do all of that stuff. You will have to relearn, you'll have to rejig all of that stuff. We do fees differently, for example. So we structure our fees, instead of at the course level, we structure our fees, and I won't forget you, we structure our fees at the class level, so that the system will tell you how much the courses should cost. You don't have to remember, this is a 6-week program, it's this much, that's an 8-week program, that's a 10-week program, you go to roll them over the next time, your 8-week program has your 6-week program price, and things are all wrong. The system will say, this is how much a class is worth, $5 a class, right? It's 30 minutes. This course has 10 classes, it's 50 bucks. That course has 8 classes, it's 40 bucks. So let the system do the work for you. Just override. But so there are some key differences like that. That means that you may not want to bring over all your data. Okay, but we have done it. They don't think it's successful. So sorry, I'll come back to you. I've got this lady back there.
I wanted to ask about any personal training solution that there might be.
Yeah, it's really cool actually, the personal training, private lessons and all that kind of stuff. You can buy them. You can buy a package of them. We have some really, really cool package functionality. I can buy personal training along with my membership, a water bottle, a locker combo, whatever it is that you want to do. You can sell through point of sale. I can take all of that and then I have those sort of in my basket, right? And then you can schedule it. We do staff reporting and instructor, track everything for your instructors, your personal trainers, somebody who's doing private lessons. We track all that in the system, so then you can just book them out. So when you're in the scheduling calendar, if you want to come by later, I can show you. You can see your instructors and your staff, just like you can see your courses in your facilities, and you can book. So I've got Bob needs a personal trainer. When is Mary free? And then book. And you can even do, you know, Bob wants a guy and Mary wants a girl personal trainer. You can track all that kind of stuff and do that as well.
Two questions. I'd be interested in the population size of your largest Canadian client, and also the restrictions on web reg licensing, and what is the rate that you're currently processing those different most web reg per minute in your largest jurisdiction worldwide.
Okay.
So largest Canadian city?
I don't have a Canadian city yet. Not one that's live. I have a US one that's coming live soon. We do not have any restrictions. Our licensing is a lot different. We don't have any restrictions on that. And I don't know the run rate. Do you know the run rate of like Jets or anybody down under or in the UK?
Well, Jets is, to give you an idea of maybe scalability, Jets is an Australia, New Zealand fitness chain with 250 locations. They use our 280. Okay, so
they're big.
They're growing. They use a single database for all 280 locations.
Well, my question is more about registration starts at 8 a.m. I want to know how many registrations are processed by 8:01.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I don't have that information. I can get it for you, but I don't have the information on the top of my head.
The number of clients that you've got on a single database doesn't really address the massive hit, and that's what I'm worried about.
Right, the simultaneous, everyone trying
how
to
many
register
servers
at
you
once.
would need based on.
So those would be two really significant questions. And I would be interested in knowing more about your potential or your upcoming U.S. client. So I'll have that conversation.
I think one thing you'll find, because having implemented a lot of customers with Class and with ActiveNet and internet registration for both products, I know a lot of customers were saying, you know, we want this to be seamless. We want to put our marketing touch on these sites, and the sites are kind of locked down, kind of like a closed box, and you just have to sort of put them out there and put a link to them. You'll find with the intelligence product that it really allows you, you know, if you're, I don't know if anyone's seen the City of Mississauga's website, is one that comes to mind where it's highly customized. Yeah, Oakville's another one, Iris. That is really much easier with our product because we are more open.
So you're able to provide some examples worldwide about
Oh, you should see one.
Yeah.
My favorite is Go Health because it's pink and, oh my gosh, yeah, it doesn't look, and if you saw my website and then you saw theirs, you wouldn't think there was any relationship between the two whatsoever. So yeah, we can provide examples. Sorry, there was somebody, did you have a question?
Yeah, do you guys offer online ticketing software?
That's coming, yeah.
Okay.
It's coming this year. I heard, so I'm gonna say Q2, Q3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming. Online ticketing? Assigned seating. You can do,
Yeah, if
you
you
can
have
sell tickets right now,
Right.
your point of sale, but it's assigned seating.
If
So
you have a
it's,
theater or something like that, we will have the assigned seating where you can pick, you know, row A, seat 21 type.
Yeah, I'm thinking of more along the lines of like a day pass or something.
Oh, yeah, that you can do right now. You can do it online or front counter.
And then in terms of hardware,
Yep.
you were saying that you support all of the Microsoft
Yeah.
things, but you guys don't sell hardware, right?
We
So
don't,
it'd be-
no, we don't want to sell printers or anything
Okay,
like
yeah,
that. no.
absolutely. So, it would be pretty much, like, obviously you have a list of what's compatible with it. So is it pretty much everything that's Microsoft would be?
Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty standard, like the Epson printers. Most of our customers worldwide are using the Epson thermal printers that
Right.
probably most people in here are using as well, right? That's what, it's a pretty standard global, product. We have a list of some stuff, but I mean, in terms of like the membership card printers, those are different per country.
Yeah,
So if there's a Microsoft driver, we can talk to it.
okay.
So you pick whatever works for you, right? But Epson is probably the one piece of hardware that I would say is truly global. Based on ours. Yeah.
We were talking at one time that your philosophy is different from other companies about whether you start with a booking or whether you start with a facility. Can you pull to that one more time for me, please?
Sure. I've got 3 minutes, so I'm going to do it in 3 minutes. And again, we'll be downstairs to come talk to us and see us, and I can show you the software. So basically, instead of looking at registration separate from a membership, separate from a booking, separate from golf, separate from everything, we have the one system with the one interface with the complete view of your customer. And everything, in essence, when you think about what you do at the city, is you are providing a service and you are booking that service. And that service might involve equipment, it might involve people, it might involve a room, it might involve all of those things together. And that's what our software does, which is why it's not a bunch of different things plugged in. It's one view, it's one screen with all of those booking abilities built into that. So I need to look at a campground differently than I look at a golf course. I can look at my calendar. Anybody, most people in here, quick show of hands, how many people are using Outlook? Okay, you know how to use our booking calendar. So there, you're just trained, right? That's literally how easy it is. That's how it works. The calendar is Outlook. Now there's also graphical displays, but it's all different ways of booking a resource. So what kind of resource do you have, and what view do you need to have of that resource in order to book it? You have the services that would go with it. With those services, maybe I need a podium, maybe I need a projector. Those are tied to the services needed to book this facility. So everything is around booking. You book courses, classes, private lessons, instructors, trainers, golf times, camp spots, boat slips, you name it, you're booking, right? And that's why we call it, we don't say that you register. Now you can change the word, but by default in the software, we don't say that you register for a course, you book into that course. I'm booking into that course. Okay, we're fully multilingual, staff side, and so that staff side, if I'm French, which I'm not, I've got Chinese if you want to see it, but your staff side as well as the public side can be any language you choose, yes.
Two quick questions asking. Are you AODA compliant?
That's the,
Ontario Facilities Act.
I don't know yet. I've got the list. Lucas is looking at it with, in terms of the website, yeah.
My second question is in regards to cloud. You said that we can go and do private cloud, or we can purchase cloud services if we want to host the infrastructure. So one of the benefits of cloud obviously is the elasticity that allows you to expand your capacity during registrations. How does your software handle the licensing if we were to put our infrastructure in Amazon Cloud? Because typically if you were hosting it, you would be able to provide us that ability to burst past licensing peaks or whatever during those high periods of demand.
Our licensing is not based on that and on demand and number of users, so you can burst and go as big as you like.
So if we stick all our servers in Amazon Cloud, we can go nuts on peak registration.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no restrictions that way. One question, okay, because I think, 1 minute left, okay.
Can you apply to certain times of the day as opposed to
Yep.
date?
Peak pricing, day of the week, you know,
For
high season,
memberships, for courses,
high
for
season,
just
low
about anything.
season, different days of the week, different times of the day.
Yeah, and zones for membership scanning and stuff, you know, girls can go in the girls' change room only, all that kind of stuff, you can do all that too. Probably last 30 seconds I got.
What is your mobile support? Are you offering mobile apps or responsive design?
Responsive design, no apps. Way too much work for you guys, yep.
Any language, you really need any language?
I mean any language, come see my Chinese screen,
Yeah.
and that'll show you any language. If I can, and I mean Chinese, like characters, like stuff I can't read. Yeah.
Would you guys do the translation or?
We can do it, I mean, the chances are, I mean, translation is one of those things too. If you have people that actually speak the language, they're probably gonna do a better job.
And then you give you input it.
Yeah, it's actually, it's done in Excel. So we have the column, this is what we call it. You create your own alias, we import that, and boom, it's done. Very simple.